G'day, folks. It's me, Greg. We're back. It's Friday. We're going to be lunching and learning. Today, we're doing data platforms. It's also the last one for the year. So happy holidays and Merry Christmas and all the things. Um, I don't have a super solid plan for today's session. I do have a bit of a plan. So as we have been doing, we've been building our data platform for our user whose name is Jordan, and Jordan is a BI professional and it was looking at their project and product data. I don't know how much more on the data platform side we're going to do. I'm going to explore some kind of different ways to interact with the data today because this is kind of what interests me at the moment, and so I'm forcing it all upon you, I guess. I don't know. So we're going to look at a couple of different experiments today. The first experiment is we're going to look at GPTs and how they work and can we use them to build data platform interaction stuff. Can we analyze data with a custom GPT? And we're also going to look at Microsoft Copilot Studio. And can we analyze data with that? Because that would be better because it's secure and on your own environment and all that kind of stuff. And then we'll probably do a bit of speculation around how this might work in the future. And then over the holidays, the homework will be see if you can get this stuff to work on your own environment or whatever. And then let me know so that I can learn more about how to create. All I really want in the whole world is just to have Star Trek where, I'm Captain Jean-Luc Picard and I'm on the Enterprise and I ask it for data and the computer for data and it tells me the data. That's all we want. That's all anybody wants. So we're going to see where we're up to in terms of technology. So I've got Copilot Studio here. I found a Copilot Studio can be in dark mode, so I immediately turned it to dark mode because I'm a dark mode kind of person. And I have GPTs open here in ChatGPT. If you're not sure how to get to GPTs, you go here on your left-hand side and you hit Explore, right? And then this opens. I've got a few GPTs. Some of you will have seen my Pitch Perfect GPT. I've got a bunch of other ones I'm trying to build. None of them really work very well. Pitch Perfect actually does work really well. Everything else doesn't work very well. I was trying to build a Microsoft Fabric expert, and we'll talk a little bit about what's good and what's bad about these things now. Right now, and then we'll talk a little bit about how to do the similar sort of thing in Copilot Studio and what maybe some of the advantages of using Copilot Studio over regular GPTs might be. So what's a GPT? It's a custom-built ChatGPT for your own purposes. So we'll have a look at this one, see what it looks like. So I can go here and look, it's got its own logo. It doesn't say ChatGPT, it says MS Fabric Expert, Specialist in Data Engineering on the Fabric platform. And you say, it's got some suggestions here. I'd like to suggest some data. And I've reached my usage cap for GPT, so I can't actually show you this right now. We'll wait until 12:28 p.m. my time, and then I'll be able to show you. Forgot about that. I was playing with it earlier this morning. Let's move to Copilot Studio and forget about GPTs for a little while. Similarly, Copilot Studio is a similar kind of thing, right? So in ChatGPT world, you create your own custom GPTs, and in Copilot Studio, you're creating your own custom bot, conversational GPT, whatever you want to call it, Copilot. This is much more on your own environment. So you can see I've got my Dear Watson consulting environment here. It's happening. So this is part of the Power Platform. It used to be called Power Virtual Agents. They've just changed the name to Copilot Studio. I think, and they've added generative AI into the whole experience. So the way it kind of works here is that we've got a list of copilots. There's an old one that Mass, who used to work for me, created one many years ago. I've deleted all the other ones. I couldn't delete this one because Mass owned it, but I'll eventually delete that. So you can create yourself a new copilot. There's also this other stuff, plugins and prompts and models. So models will refer to like AI models, pre-trained AI models. Prompts, I don't know because I don't have access to it, but I assume that's going to be similar to GPTs. You're going to create your own custom prompts and plugins and stuff. I'm not sure what plugins. Add a plugin, Power Platform component as an AI plugin. So you have this concept of plugins. So Copilot is much more kind of feature rich in terms of there's a lot of different stuff you can do. it's probably not as intuitive and easy to build as like a GPT. And so, but it is not too bad. And like I said, what I want to do is explore where is Copilot up to in terms of being able to analyze data. Can we say get Copilot to answer questions about data inside a spreadsheet? We'll have a look at that today. I want to see, because my ultimate evil plan is if I want to make my Star Trek fantasies happen, we'll need our Power BI, our Fabric data platform. So this has got all the data and it's got the semantic models and it's got all the cool things. And then I needed my Copilot in Teams. I need to be able to say, hey, what were the sales last week, or how many hours did I do last week, or whatever. And Copilot needs to be able to go away, pick that up out of the data platform somewhere, and be able to answer that question in a logical kind of way. And I'm wondering, I feel like it's probably technically possible with a lot of work right now, but I don't have a good architecture for how I would do. So if you have ideas about how you might do this, let me know, throw them in the chat or whatever, because I'm interested in anyone's ideas around this stuff. So can we build a chatbot that talks to data in Copilot? Let's try. So let's call this, let's give it a good name, Data Daisy. Daisy Data. Daisy Data. I need a third D letter word. Debonair. Is that how you spell debonair? No. Come on. Oh, just one R. I was close. Daisy the data debonair. She speaks English. Okay, so this is the code. It's like if you want to do like a really basic Copilot, it's actually super easy to set up. I can show you like a quick example here. So if we go to say Fabric, it's not Fabric, otherwise I'll get a bunch of textile websites. We just go to the regular Microsoft Fabric homepage. So I'll just copy this and I'll throw it in this website right here. Okay, and then I hit create. And it goes wow, 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 and it creates a robot for you, puts in some cool data. See, it shows data when they're creating the robot, but can it actually do it? And then puts a headset on the robot and feeds it some stuff and gives it a cup of coffee, and it's ready to go. I don't know how long it actually will take, probably take a couple of minutes. So what this will do is just like straight out of the box, you literally don't have to do anything else. This chatbot will be able to answer questions about whatever's on this web page. I didn't even look at the web page, so I can ask it about Fabric managing powerful AI models, and it'll give me this little bit here. Or I will ask it about governance and security on Fabric and see what it says. Okay, and that's it. It's not a very information-rich page, but it'll at least give us something to start with. All right. Hello, I'm Daisy, the data debonair. Virtual assistant, just so you're aware, sometimes I can use AI to answer your questions. How can I help? All right, so let's type a message like I haven't done anything and say, tell me about governance in Fabric. See if it works. This would be cool if it does. Hey, Fabric provides end-to-end governance and security capabilities, help you to manage and protect your data effectively. These capabilities work across your data in Microsoft Fabric and beyond. Fabric, you can apply purview information, product sensitivity, blah, blah, blah. And then it gives you these citations. And I can click on the citation and it takes me to the spot in the website. And notice it's like given me like quite a lot of, like, this is part of the blog. So it's actually gone further down than in the Microsoft Fabric thing. I didn't know it could actually do this, which is actually really cool. So theoretically, without asking it too much, what are my options? For storage, for data storage in Fabric. Fabric offers a unified multi-cloud data lake called OneLake. That's correct. No, we don't want to leave right now. OneLake is, every time I click on it, it tries to thing. I've got to get my zoom happening as well. Let me do my zoom. Answers from various sources, blah, 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 blah. So this is what Copilot right now is really good at. If you've just got like websites full of data that is just text information, then you can literally create a Copilot immediately. If you're interested in the pricing on Copilots, I'll bring that up because you can see how it kind of works. I wouldn't say it's the cheapest thing in the whole world. It's potentially maybe it's okay. I don't know. I'd be interested to get your feedback on it, actually. See what people think. $30 per user a month. No, that's not it. That's the Microsoft 365 Copilot. Now, the problem is everything's called Copilot now, and so we need to differentiate between everything. Maybe this is the right one. Maybe we'll have a look at see if we can find pricing. So this is the Microsoft 365 Copilot. So there's going to be like a master Copilot that goes across everything, and that's going to be integrated into Windows, and it's going to be integrated into Bing. It's all this kind of stuff. If you go to copilot.microsoft.com, that's where it lives right now. It's not available in the Australian region, so I don't think I will have access to it, but we could see if I do. Let's just try that. Oh, going to send a notification. Uh-oh, there's some two-factor going on here. Guess the number. If that's correct, you'll be right. Try Face ID again. Choosing Face ID on my phone. Man, it's so advanced. All right. Oh, telling me my basic subscription will thing. Oh, that's just wrong. It's just completely wrong. Anyway, if you go there and sign in with your work account, I didn't do that then. I signed in with another account. It should give you the master Copilot. And then you can have each of the products has their own little mini Copilot in it. So Fabric has its Copilot, Power BI will have a Copilot, Word has a Copilot, Excel has a Copilot, right? And so this Copilot Studio is when you're building your own chatbot, which they're also calling a Copilot. And then you can publish this chatbot up into different experiences. And you can also extend the Microsoft. So see where it says extend the Microsoft chatbot. Oh, the Microsoft Copilot here, that is extending the master one. So there's a way to do that too. I haven't quite figured it all out yet. So there's a few bits and pieces to figure out, but I've got to figure out what my Zoom command is. And it's hiding here behind something. Here it is. Control 1. Okay, I've got to hit Control 1 to zoom. All right. So it knows a lot about Fabric because I pointed it to the Fabric website, which is cool. So text-based, if you give it a text-based website, it will be able to just give you information straight back. So immediately out of the box. Now, I think from a pricing point of view, just circling back to pricing, I think it's like $300 a month for like 3,000 conversations. Something like that. Could be in US, can't quite remember. So if you think about that, whether that's worth it or not for you to have this kind of like user experience for people, I think it's pretty cool. What if we ask it about something that it shouldn't know anything about, right? So let's ask it about Power Automate. No, it doesn't know. Okay, so there mustn't have been anything in that Fabric website about Power Automate, which makes sense. But if we say, how about Data Explorer? See if there was anything about Data Explorer in there. Data Explorer, so it again talks about Fabric, and then, yeah, it talks about Data Explorer here. You can refer to the document, optimizing your data using Data Explorer. There you go. So text-based solutions is all good. You can see here I've got on my generative AI answers, it's got this website. So this is my little website that I just added, okay? And it's just a public website. So the data source is a public website. So what else can we add? We can add, you could add SharePoint in here as well. There is this authentication protocol. I'm not going to try and do it now because you have to set up an app registration inside your Azure first so that you can authenticate the user who's chatting with the bot can authenticate properly, because it will use their authentication to get what's there available to SharePoint. And this is the difference between, say, a GPT and using Copilot, is you're going to have more advanced security options associated with that, and it's going to be properly integrated with all the Azure backend and all that kind of stuff. If you're just using a GPT and you're pointing to stuff, then there is authentication protocols in GPTs, which we'll look at when we have an option, when we have the option to look at that. You can see here in the GPTs are much more simple. You've got the name, you've got a description, then you've got basically a system prompt. In this one, I just said, hey, you know all of this stuff. What I tried to do was upload a PDF to give it knowledge about Fabric. So I've got this Fabric data engineering PDF, and I uploaded it, and then I was asking questions about it. This didn't work very well, which is what I was going to try and show you before I ran out of stuff, which will run out of GPT. But don't worry, it'll come back soon. So we can do the same thing here. So I can drag and drop a file. So you can see here at the thing, it says, hey, you want to upload a document, drag and drop a file in here, and I'll know about that file. So I'm going to ask, so I've got a folder full of files here. Here's my little folder. It's got a bunch of files in here. I've got these PDF files that are information about Fabric, and then I've got this sales sample. Now, I think there's a limitation on the file, up to 3 meg, right? Now, I don't think any of my files are under 3 meg. I think they're all like 20 meg, yeah, or even more. That's 100 meg. So you can't upload a very big file into, I thought it was 30 meg actually, and that's why I got this 14 meg file, but it's not going to work. So you can only have a very small PDF file associated with it, and 3 meg's not a lot for a PDF. That's only a few pages. These files that I have are, this is a getting started in Fabric. Now, what I did to get these files was I actually went to the Learn site for Fabric, and then you can download anything on Microsoft Learn. You can download as a PDF. There's a button at the bottom, just say download this as a PDF, and it gives you a PDF version of the website like this. And you can basically, on page 105, is how to do a workspace, just like on the Learn site, but you've got the PDF version. So my plan was upload all these PDFs into the chatbot, and then I could ask any questions about Microsoft, about Fabric, and it should be super smart. So what I'm wondering is, does it already have enough information in it from the website? So let's ask it about workspace settings. How does workspaces? The workspace settings options in Fabric. Okay, so it seems to know a little bit about workspaces. Options for workspace settings in Fabric include creating, sharing, collaborating on Fabric items such as datasets, warehouses, and notebooks. Fabric is a complete analytics platform, and Azure Data Factory offers 7 core workflows, each purpose-built. And then it's citing off, getting started, and prepare your data for innovation. So it is still, it's not using the Learn site. So maybe if we added the Learn site, we could try that. Now, this website can only be 2 deep. So see how this is Microsoft.com/enus/fabric. You can only have 2 slashes. Any more, and it won't allow it, which is a bit weird. But let me find that Learn site. So if we go to Learn, here's a data science tutorial from. So if I go to Learn/enus/fabric like this, I might be able to bring it all in this way. Let's try that. Enter my website. So this is learn.microsoft.com fabric, add that. Okay. And then let's ask it a question from the data science tutorial. I'll say, what are the different components of the data science scenario in Fabric? Which will be something that's only on the Learn side. All right. What are the different components of a complete analytics platform? These workloads include data move and data science. So no, it hasn't really worked. Okay, what if I remove this website, which it's already used, and just use that one? Oh, I haven't saved it. Okay, so now I've removed that other website completely. I've saved it, and now I'll ask it the same stuff again. All right, so I'll ask the same question again. What are the different components? Include data sources, Fabric notebooks, and various Apache. These components allow users to easily connect to data. Data science tutorial get started. Data science in Fabric. So it has actually now, it's now referencing the Learn documentation, which is pretty cool. So I find that Copilot, when you were doing these type of stuff, like you can point it at websites, so that's really good. It does kind of it gives you these citations and stuff, which is really cool. So GPTs don't do that kind of stuff, but it doesn't. Its conversation style is a little bit different. I think you can mess around with the way it works. So you've got this concept of topics. You can change different topics, and then you've got your generative AI thing here, right? And this is information about the generative AI properties. Now, I don't see like a system prompt here, but I'm pretty sure you can do a system prompt. Intelligent authoring, advanced edit in the conversational boosting topic. Is that where we're? Okay, here we go. So on any unknown intent. So they have this concept of intent where it tries to figure out what you're trying to do first. So if you say, hey, I want to get my hours, it says, oh, this person is looking for hours, and then it goes to different topics depending on what you're saying, right? And this is when it doesn't know what you're saying, so it's just going to go and create a generative answer based on the data sources that have been provided, and then basically end the topic after that. So that's kind of what it's doing. So under this generative answer, I'm pretty sure if I click on this and look at its properties, you've got custom instructions here that you can potentially change the system prompt for this particular generative answer here. So I don't know if this would be similar, I think, to changing in a GPT, changing this prompt here, the instructions prompt here. And I haven't experimented too much with it, and I plan to. It seems to be quite linear. Like this doesn't, in GPTs, if you give it a list of a process, like for it to follow, it'll just continuously follow the process until the end. Whereas in here, if I try and give it a process here, it doesn't seem to follow that. It just does one generative answer and then it doesn't do any more, So it's a bit different and weird like that. So it's just like the way it's implemented is slightly different. It seems to be smart. You don't have to spell things correctly or anything like that. It's smart enough to read things correctly, but it just is a one-shot kind of prompt, a one-shot kind of answer, as opposed to in GPTs, it'll follow a whole process, which I can show you a bit later. So text-based answers is quite good. I'm pretty impressed with if you had stuff sitting in a text form that you wanted people to be able to interact with and answer, and it's say sitting in the data lake. I'm sure at some point, I don't know if you can do it right now, I'm sure at some point you'd be able to point it to that data and like say PDF files or whatever that data is sitting inside the one lake data lake, and it'll be able to answer questions based on those text-based files. I haven't been able to get the two things talking to each other yet, but I'm sure that will come relatively soon. You can do it with OneDrive and you can do it with SharePoint. So you can use those in the meantime if you can't get one lake to work. But I imagine at some point you'll be able to do it in one lake as well. So if you're carrying documentation or information about something that you built, your data platform that you built, if you've got a data dictionary, if you've got all that kind of stuff, I imagine that will be readable. And you can have that as a part of your interaction, your prompt interaction as a part of your Copilot. So that's cool. So that's the first piece. Text-based stuff looks good. Probably a little bit of work to do there, but not too bad. So the second one for Daisy, the data debonair, was what happens if I give her data? And then can she provide answers about data the same way that GPT provides answers about data with its like advanced analytics and the way that it can kind of do stuff like that. And this is where things get interesting for her. So I have a data set. I'll show you the data set. It's called sales sample. It's an Excel file. It's here somewhere. We'll open her up in Excel. It's a really standard, horrible sales data set that you would expect to see in all the demos for Power BI ever. There's not much different. There's a bit of a weird shape, but has the same types of stuff. So I've got a rep ID, a deal number, I've got a booking amount, and it's in the millions of dollars, of course. The size of the booking. This is a bunch of dates. I can't remember what the dates are about. The description just says Ipsum Lorem, so it's clearly fake data. The days since last activity, number of days since the last activity, the start date, the age, the partner, the competition category, and the expected booking amount. So we can ask questions about what's the booking amount, what's the expected booking amount, all that kind of stuff. So let's have a look at what it does in Copilot. This sales sample data set, we'll just check its size because it can't be bigger than 3 meg, otherwise I'm in trouble. I'll have to delete some. The size is 76K. Good old Excel, storing lots of data with not much memory. All right. So what you do is you drag and drop your Excel workbook into your document to provide responses about this document. Please note that image, audio, video, and executable files are not supported. So you can't use pictures, you can't use video, and you can't put in an exe, which is fair enough. Anything text-based seems to work. Okay. It says the file upload is complete. Files have been successfully uploaded to Dataverse and available for generative answers shortly. So it does take a little while for generative answers to start working. It uploads it into a Dataverse table, which is interesting. And the $1 million question is, can we answer questions? So what's the total expected value for rep ID 12? Sending. Sorry, it doesn't know how to help me, so it might not have uploaded yet. Or it doesn't know how to read this Excel file or something else. Let's give it another couple of minutes before we do that. Let's do the similar thing with ChatGPT. Do I have access? Oh, it's almost back. We're almost back. I'll show you how ChatGPT GPTs work. So we're going to create a new GPT because I don't need to use my limit here for this. So you can create a new GPT. So I'm going to create a new one. Now, GPT very nicely gives you a GPT that helps you build GPTs. It's very meta. So it says, hi, I'll help you build a GPT. What do you want to do? And I say, I'd like a GPT that analyzes an Excel file that I upload. And then it says, how about Excel Analyzer? Yeah, that's great. Great name. Great name. Thanks. Also, happy birthday. It's GPT's birthday today. Thank you for the birthday wishes. We're going to create a profile picture, and then it'll generate a profile picture using DALL-E 3, which is quite nice. It'll be interesting to see. It's called Excel Analyzer, so it'll be interesting to see what the profile picture looks like. And you get this cool profile picture. That looks awesome. Thanks. No, it looks good. And see how this is following a process. This is a GPT, right? And see how it's going through different steps, saying first we'll do this, then we'll do that, then we'll do this, right? Now, what kind of analysis should we do? Statistical data. We'll go financial. Specializing in analyzing financial reports in Excel files and focus on interpreting financial data, identifying trends, and providing insights relevant to financial reporting. Next, are there any types of information or data within the financial reports that should pay particular attention to? The other interesting thing about this GPT is it's dynamic. So depending on what I've said before, it's changing its process based on the fact that I've said, oh, I wanted to analyze Excel, and then it's dynamically generated its own kind of process and now is following it, which I think is interesting. Any specific information data within the financial reports we should pay attention to, such as revenue, trends, expenditure, or budget comparisons? No, nothing specific. Okay, it's going to be, how should it end? Clarification, make assumptions. It should not make assumptions. Get it to ask for more data. Well, let's go formal report style. So it's saying, how do you want to present its findings? Okay, and then it writes the system prompt for the GPT. So that's kind of cool. Like, it's nice and easy, and it's also I'm sure this is kind of what the Copilot experience is going to be similar to this when that comes into on the Microsoft side, right? You're going to say, hey, you're just going to have a natural conversation with it, then it's going to give you the thing. Now, what it's done in the meantime is actually updated this side, right? So it updated the picture, it gave it a name, gave it a description, and it's given it these custom instructions, which is its kind of its system prompt. Not a very long prompt actually, which is good. So it says it's a GPT designed to analyze financial reports in Excel files and interprets financial data, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You have these conversation starters, sample conversations for to start with, and they appear as buttons. So these are the buttons here on the right hand side in our test area. Now you've got knowledge upload files. So this is really similar to Copilot as well. I can upload some PDFs or whatever and give it some knowledge, some pre-trained knowledge. From a data security point of view, obviously, if you upload stuff into this, your chat users will be able to access that data as well. It doesn't really help us much, although I'm interested in kind of what sort of knowledge you could potentially put in there, and then how it will interact with the data set. So if you put an Excel file in here, is it going to be able to, say, aggregate that data or whatever? I haven't played around with that yet. And then it's given it some capabilities, web browsing and DALL-E image generation. It's actually turned off code interpreter, which is hilarious because that's the only one it actually needs. So I'm going to turn off those two and turn on code interpreter. Actually, let's leave it as it created it. I don't need. And then you've got this concept of actions. We'll talk about actions later. All right. Have I taken long enough to be, let's say, hey, upload Excel file for analysis. Will this actually work, or am I out of ready to access? Okay, he's ready to analyze. So I'll upload my file. This is our little preview. I've got my sample data floating around somewhere. What folder is it in? It's in my Fabric Copilot folder. Open. Didn't work. Try again. Okay, there we go. Sales sample, open. I'm uploading the spreadsheet. Here is the data. See what happens. Yeah. So code interpreter is not enabled, and so I don't think you can read anything. So what happens if I do this and then try again? Sure, happy to analyze and examine. Upload the file, okay. Here is the file. And now it can work because it's got code interpreter enabled. So code interpreter is the advanced data analysis that you see in ChatGPT. So yeah, it's weird. I don't know why it would turn that off, unless it's yeah. So it can, when enabled, it allows your GPT to analyze data, work with files you're uploaded, do math and other work things. So we needed that to be turned on. Oh, you know what it looked like it did? It deselected it, but actually it was trying to select it. It like inverted it anyway. Primarily related to sales data. Here's some key observations. For comprehensive analysis, I will focus on trends. Let me know if there's anything else. Okay, go ahead. So this is way better at already at analyzing, like doing the kind of stuff that we'll want to do eventually in Copilot, right? We want it to be able to connect to our data sets or our semantic data layer and then do kind of analysis over those data sets. Ask it to get me the stats. Yeah, interesting. I'll try. Hey, booking amounts. The above bar chart shows the total booking amounts for each month, illustrating booking values that fluctuated over time. This visualization provides insights into monthly performance. Interesting. Now, if I ask the same question, what's the expected value for rep ID 12? Let's see what it says. Oh, still doing something. It is. Oh, it's analyzing its head off. All right. So distribution in trends and sizes of things, frequency, away it goes again. Doing the full advanced analytics thing. So that's cool. Like that's way more powerful than what we can do in Copilot right now, right? Especially in Copilot Studio. I haven't seen any kind of Copilot that does this type of stuff. And what if you click this little down arrow? What it's doing is just a bunch of Python, and then executing that Python against the table. So it reads the Excel file first into a data frame, and then it starts doing bar chart, like it just starts doing Python over the top. It's pretty nifty. I'm sure you've seen before if you played around the advanced data analytics. This isn't doing anything different than the advanced data analytics does right now. We could give it custom instructions. If you had a custom way you wanted it to follow or custom set of analyses you wanted it to do over a standard file, this is where you would create it as a custom GPT. So you could say, hey, I'm the special sales file analyzer, and then drop your sales file and I'll give you all of the stats about it. And if you know about what the structure of that data is, you could customize the instructions to make it give a custom analysis based on those instructions. And I think this is where these custom GPTs are going to be really interesting, because you can build custom processes on particular files. So you could say, hey, I'm the zero invoice, invoice file. Download your zero invoices as an Excel and then drop it here, and then I'll give you the full analysis on your zero accounts or whatever. So I can see that being a way you can use GPTs in the short term. Of course, you have to think about data security though. You're not going to be dropping your zero invoices in necessarily. We got an error analyzing. Seasonal patterns didn't quite work. It's still going. It's going crazy. I'm going to run out of. I'm going to run out of thing. Okay, stopped analyzing. Yeah, it's cooked it. Went too hard. All right, so I need to reset this. I think if I just save it, it'll reset. Or if you change this, it'll reset. There it goes, it reset. Save for only me now. And then now it's just, it is as it is. So instead of doing it all up, I'll ask it a specific question now. So I'll upload the file. I do want to try that. Okay, here's our sales sample. The attached sheet. What is the expected value for rep ID number 12? So if I give it a specific thing to answer. Okay, so it knows what to do. Filter the data to only include entries for rep 12 and then analyze expected booking column. That's exactly what I want it to do. Here's the deals, lots of money. Deal 3, deal 51, deal 80. It's like literally writing out the table, which is hilarious. Uh-oh. Oh no, there we go. These values represent the expected booking amounts for each deal associated with rep ID 12. Okay, so now I want to check it. I wonder, because I want to know if it's hallucinating or not here. So let's check its math. We'll check the filter worked. Okay, so our rep ID number 12, which is this one, hit OK. Looks good, looks pretty good. So we're filtered to rep ID. Wait, what happened there? ID 12, yeah. Is this? Oh, it's a rand. Okay. Oh, it's clearly fake data because it changes every time I refresh it. It's filtered to what rep ID 12 was when I uploaded it. I have no way of checking because it's always going to randomly generate new things. Oh, that's a bloody annoying. Yeah, that was a silly thing to do. How many did it get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It got 12 records, and I wonder if there's 12 records here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 15. But it did change. Oh, that's so confusing. All right, well, I have to do it. I have to copy and paste the values so that they're actually real, and then let's make that work. Seems to almost work. Now, the bad thing is, right, it hasn't tried to aggregate these. Well, my question was, what's the expected value? So I guess I could say, what's the total expected value for the rep? Well, let's try that. What's the total? Oh, it won't give it me for rep ID 12. So I want to know if we can aggregate 68 million for rep ID 12. So it retained the rep ID 12 thing. Does that look about right? Doesn't looks like it could add up to about 60 million. Yeah, it's not too bad. All right. So it can aggregate across columns. Now Copilot can't do this. Let's ask it a question now. No, it doesn't. Let's see if it can even know anything about the spreadsheet. Okay. Interesting. So now it's saying to calculate the total expected value, you need test data in the form of a Spark data frame. You can substitute the test variable in the following code with your own data. So it told me to go and calculate it myself. And then, it gave me, it still knows about fabric. It's trying to tell me about fabric. Interesting. So it's like it's not updated with the spreadsheet data. Did I not save that? I thought I did. Or maybe not. Oh, the spreadsheet's still there, but the fabric's still there too. Interesting. So the other time that I tried this, it just gave me a list of all of the values for expected value. It literally just listed them off in no particular order, in no sort order. It doesn't have any concept of kind of aggregating or anything. So whatever ChatGPT is doing over on that side using advanced analytics and then aggregations, it's not able to replicate that in Copilot. So I think the short story here is that they're a long way away from being able to build data analytics solutions that are actually reliable yet, although ChatGPT is pretty close. It'll be interesting to see. So then when you've got this concept of actions in our Excel analyzer, if we edit this, go back to our configuration, and then down the bottom here, you've got actions. Now, this is where you can connect to APIs. So you need to, like there's examples here, we can show you an example. We look at what have we got here? Weather JSON. Get current weather. So you've got these API actions that you can use to go and get data from an API. So what I'm thinking is, could we connect this to like the Fabric API and get it to pull data down that way and then do that advanced analytics like it does on the spreadsheet? That would be cool, but I don't know if you can do it. Also, I worry about security for that. But that's what I want to try. I'm not going to try it today. It's too late. That's what I'm going to try over Christmas. And then next year, I'll come back and I'll have all these cool ways of attacking data with chatbots. That's the theory. So what I'm hoping is that as a Copilot evolves, it'll evolve to a point where you can kind of say, hey, give me my Fabric data, either through this interface or something like this. Or you can generate special topics to say, if you ask about my productivity thing, this is the productivity data model, and you can read the data from that and then provide analytics information about that. And then if you've got a Copilot that can do that, then the options for where that can be surfaced up are pretty good, right? You can have that surfaced up on a website, you can publish it up into your team site, you probably have some kind of voice interface. Like those GPTs also work with a mobile app, right? So I'll just give you a quick example. If I turn on my ChatGPT mobile app, and then I open my Pitch Perfect one, and then there's a little headphone icon, and if I hit the headphone icon, I'll turn it up so you can hear her. Hi, I'd like to create a pitch for my new product.
Could you tell me your name and a bit about your background, especially any recent successful projects or experience in the industry related to your new product? This will help us build a strong introduction.
Yeah, my name's Greg Nash, and I'm a data platform MVP. I've been working in IT for the last 30 years, and I recently implemented a data platform for a very large bank.
Thanks, Greg Nash. It's impressive to hear about your extensive experience in IT and your recent accomplishment with the data platform for a large bank. Let's frame your introduction. Hello, my name is Greg Nash, a data platform MVP with over 30 years of experience in IT. Recently, I successfully implemented a comprehensive data platform for a major bank, showcasing my expertise in managing and optimizing large-scale data solutions. Does this introduction resonate with you?
And that's the end of that. But so you can see, like, if you could do data analysis like that, it would be so cool. Anyway, makes me excited. But yes, your job is safe for another few months. So we'll see how you're going after Christmas. It's the end of the year. We're finishing up. I have some sticker packs and presents. So here's the deal. I'm going to create a form. If you want to get a present, because you're here in real life, I better create this off screen just in case. I'll create a form and then send us you'll have to send me your, I have to physically send it to you. So you have to send me your address. Send me an address I can send you a present to. And also I've got sticker packs and I've got another little bits and pieces of swag. I've got like phone, those poppy out phone things. They're like Power BI poppy out phone things. And I've got some Power BI women in Power BI swag. So mugs and cups and stuff like that. So if you're interested in the women in Power BI swag, then I'll put a tick box on the form, say, yes, I'm interested in the women in Power BI stuff. And then how many of you guys is there? There's like only 20 of you or so. So I should be able to have enough stickers. I've got enough sticker packs for everybody. And then I'll only be able to select a couple of the people for the women in Power BI stuff. And then when you get it, the rule is you got to tweet out how amazing the stickers are, because I'll give you the hashtag, because particularly the women in Power BI stuff, they're keen on showcasing stuff. But I've got some swag. All right, let's create a form so people can do it. I'm just literally going to be like, Christmas present from Greg. No, we'll call it Power BI swag form. And if there's other cool stuff, I don't know exactly how much swag I've got. I've got lots of bits and pieces of swag. I'll create little packages for everybody and send them off. And if you're watching this on YouTube, bad luck, you miss out. Okay, I need your full name. Yes, I need all these things. Add all. Oh, what happened here? Climate and equipment number, specific. Oh my God, no, we don't want suggestions. Oh, I just added a whole bunch of questions. All right, I've got to create a new form. Wow, forms is crazy now. Okay, I'm going to delete that form. That was a terrible attempt. Can you not delete a form in forms? I don't know how this works. Okay, new form. Okay. Power BI swag form 2. Actually, yeah. Right, you can watch me create a form for a couple of minutes. It's pretty boring. Sorry, this is the boring bit. Name. And choice. No question. Is address. Long answer, just in case you've got a really crazy long address. Email, just in case. That'll do. Name, mailing address, and email for issues. Okay, collect responses. Anyone can respond. Copy the link. You can't see the link if you're on YouTube. You won't be able to see it. Sorry. It's only for people who are here. Okay, see if that works. Let me preview it. Name, Greg. Mailing address, blah, blah, blah. Email for issues. Here's my email at blah.com. I put an extra question in there. I'll remove that. Okay, that seemed to work. Okay, remove this guy. Yes. And save. You don't need to save, and then the responses come in here. All right, I won't keep it on responses because you might start answering. Okay, the link's there. Oh, women in Power BI. Thanks, Tori. Thanks. Need the woman in Power BI checkbox. Add new choice. Do you want women in Power BI swag? Yes, no. Required. These are all required. Okay, we did it. All right, let me get the link again just in case. Anyone can respond, copy link. Nice. Okay, get on there. Join. Send me your email if you want to get swag and you don't mind giving me your mailing address. Send it. Fill out the form, and I will send you some stickers and swag. And yeah, have a happy Christmas and a happy holidays. And yeah, we'll see you next year. I'll probably have a lot more ideas by the end of the year. We did a lot though. I think we went through a whole thing on fabric. We did all of the fabric. If you go back through the YouTube, there's like. We did all the fabric examples. We did a bunch of stuff on data visualization. We did that crazy stuff with Deneb. That was cool. And then we've been doing a little bit of data platform. So we had a successful year of luncheon and learning. Yeah, I just want to say thanks to everybody. It's obviously it's a lot of work putting this kind of stuff together, even though I don't come in very prepared. It is like a bit of a pretty big commitment to do this every week as much as I can. So thanks to you guys for coming along and supporting this channel. We'll try and make it better and bigger as time goes on. I do eventually want to live stream this instead of just doing it on Teams and YouTube, but we'll see how it goes. But oh, look at that. See, Tori can clap. Those avatars are awesome. Yeah, thanks everybody. Yeah, we'll see you next year. I'll be back. I'll probably look out on my LinkedIn for when I come back, but it'll be probably February, so don't expect anything in January. We'll wait until we're all a bit back into it, maybe even as late as March. Anyway, I hope you have a great, safe holidays. We'll see you next year for more Power BI and Fabric action, and hopefully there'll be some interesting things that happen over in the meantime. So see you all. Have a great one. See you soon.